Hello everyone, Mrhappy here, and welcome to Mondays with Mrhappy, aka Mrhappy Mondays, weekly Q&A show where I apparently do funky stuff at the start instead right now. In case you don't remember from last week's episode, I said that next week's episode would be from a different location, and so different microphone, different background. I'm in LA visiting my girlfriend, and as you can see, I also look a little bit different. You know, beard's a little bit longer, I think, is the biggest thing. Glasses are a little bit bigger, you know, they're hers. They're bigger gunners, basically. And also a little bit of a hat. Bit of a story time before we get started. So we actually went to the League of Legends Championship Series, the playoffs, the finals. We went to the third place match on Saturday, and we went to the grand finals, TSM versus C9, on Sunday. And, you know, a lot of people dislike League of Legends. You know, it's a very toxic game. A lot of people talk about it like that. I've always just kind of taken the game for the competitive series. I kind of always liked competitive esports, really. You know, I watch Counter-Strike, StarCraft, all that stuff whenever I really can. The League of Legends I followed the most adamantly, so it was great to finally get to go with her to one of these events, sit in the studio, cheer for my favorite team. And overall, Riot did a great job, and they gave out tons of stuff. I mean, I also spent a bunch of money. So the hat I bought, she was wearing it the whole time. At least it gave her head like a little bit of a pillow. It was nice to rest my head on top of her head. Also, we have a bunch of stuff that they were throwing at the crowd. The shirt I bought as well. It's a Pentakill shirt for those of you who actually follow League of Legends. Bought another shirt which was like a 16-bit, like a sprite version of certain champions, which was pretty cool. I figured it was a good shirt to buy since, you know, Final Fantasy is a big thing for me. They also were throwing out things like this, like there's a Ziggs bomb if you follow this stuff. These are all like little you know, squeezy things. I don't know if these are supposed to be stress balls or not. I hear the release of air. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, you guys hear that? I don't know if you do. Little Poro looking thing. We actually caught a few of these. And I say we, she caught like 3 out of the 4 of these. I caught 1, and she found the rest of them. Oh, this one, almost had to beat up a little kid to get this one, but this is a cupcake, and it's League of Legends related. I'm not going to explain that right now. Another thing I bought at the store was this little ram. It's funny because the only reason I bought this is because I had $70 worth of stuff, and they said, hey, if you spend $5 more, we can give you a statue of something, or not even a statue, like a figurine. And so I bought this little Rammus keychain. Maybe I'll bring it to Night Blue or something when I probably see him at TwitchCon. And then the big one, because I spent $75. I don't know why I was acting like this was heavy. Because I spent $75 in their store, they gave me this free. For those of you who know, it's a Pulsefire Ezreal figurine. They also had a Thresh one that was really cool. But I have no idea how I'm getting this stuff home yet, so just wanted to show you guys this before we got the Monday Q&A started. It was a great time. If you're a League of Legends fan and you've always kind of debated going to one of the events, I'd say that the LCS was pretty well put together. There's also a lot of food trucks and stuff outside. There was also a stand with like sandwiches and stuff. They gave out free sandwiches and hot dogs at the end. We had like 3 or 4 in the fridge. It was free food. I mean, can't turn it down. You know, it was $4 when she bought it before, and then it was, you know. Regardless, free food, free stuff. I'm going to take off this for the remainder of the video. Anyway, let's get to the Q&A. Alright, so again, I'm glad to see that people are really making use of the forums to ask questions for Mondays with Mrhappy. Again, thank you so much, guys, for spending some time on the forums, for answering your questions there. It just makes my job so much easier to get to your questions. Having said that, I do have a few questions from YouTube. I still like to gather a couple of them, since there's only usually 2 or 3. Some of them are repeat questions, so I grabbed 2 that actually really interested me. I've actually read these ones ahead of time to make sure that I didn't just, you know, scroll through blindly. So, question number 1 for this week. Hello, Mrhappy. Question for next week. I'll try to make it short. I thank you, man. I thank you. Yoshi once stated that cross-job glamours would go against the art direction and the aesthetic of the game. I'm sick and tired of seeing Makote and Hyurs walking around in bikinis, but apparently that doesn't go against the art direction. What are your thoughts? Is Yoshi P a hypocrite? Really? Really? Hypocrite? Ugh, hypocrite. You know, I've never really looked at it that way. You know, when I think, no, a tank wearing black mage armor, oh, that doesn't make sense. But then I see him wear a bikini and I go, haha, that's funny. It's like, you're right. It is a little bit strange that it's okay to have these, like, scantily clad outfits and being called a tank, and meanwhile you can't have a robe on because it would make you look like a mage. I guess the thing is, because it's equal against all, you know, every job can wear it. It's really just when they mean art direction and aesthetic, they don't want it to be confusing where they see a tank wearing mage outfits, but then if you're wearing the bikini, it's like you pretty much, you're right. I mean, the way that you're reading this, it's totally right. I guess I'm okay with it a little bit more because the bikini, like any job could be wearing the bikini. It's not like it's only tanks that can wear the bikini. That would be confusing to me. And besides, they can't be that restrictive with it, but I see where you're going. Like, if they're willing to make that sort of adjustment, if they're willing to allow that, why not just allow the full cross-job glamours? Who knows, maybe one day it'll happen, but, yeah, I actually really like the question, and, I don't think he's necessarily a hypocrite. Those are just my thoughts on it, really. Question number 2. Hey, Happy, insert much love comment and appreciation comment here. Thank you, man. I appreciate you too. I have a quick question for next week. What is the best PC server? I play on PC and I find myself on Genova. Great server. Some really large streamers have started, streaming on Genova. They have a huge free company there. In case you don't know them, Dodger, It's Me, JP, Strippin', really cool streamers. You should check them out whenever you have the time. You find Genova to be a heavy PS4 or PS3 server and want to maybe transfer to a more PC heavy server. I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, I guess. It's not like there's one server that's more PC than console. I guess you might argue that some of the more hardcore endgame might have more PC players, but I can't even really say that with the utmost confidence, because I know a lot of people who play on PC but play with the controller, so I guess they're still PC players, but it's just, I guess I don't really understand the need to be on a separate server from people with PlayStation 4 and PS3. I mean, everyone's on the same servers, but I guess if I had to come up with something, like, the really, like, high pop servers, like Gilgamesh, Excalibur, Hyperion, there's gonna be console players. I mean, it's a cross-platform game after all. So I guess those are really, like, the best ones, all the super high pop ones, like Gilg, like, like Excalibur, like Leviathan, maybe, things like that. Question number 3. Now we're going over to the Dream Forums. Again, thank you for your questions on YouTube. Dream Forums, though, way easier. I'm so glad people have been accustomed to using it. So question number 3, hey Happy, question for week 36. With the recent news and footage regarding the upcoming Dissidia title, how do you feel some of the existing gameplay mechanics will transfer over to the new 3v3 format? I think the assist system is going to be completely reworked. I think the general battle system is okay, but one thing that we've definitely seen from like some of Yashtola's gameplay is that there seem to be more support skills. There are skills that you can actually take that will help protect your teammates, help counter your enemies better for your teammates, which is something that is a nice dynamic to add on to the game. I think the 3v3 overall, I think you can do 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3. I think all of those are options if I remember correctly. I just think the assist system is going to be completely changed. I think the way you deal damage is going to largely remain the same. I guess if it's a matter of can one person bring it back against 3 other people, do the other 3 people share a health bar? And some of this information should be in some of the video footage that's come out. I haven't really had much time to go over that. I think it'll transfer very, very well, just some minor change. Also, part of the assist system, the summon system also probably going to be entirely different, especially from what the trailer was showing us. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some changes there. Question number 4. Hey, Mr. Happy, thanks for answering my question last week. I will appease the happy god. Praise be to his not sickness. I don't know why I said it like that. And felt the need to ask a similar question to last week. Why is it that Succor's Galvanize effect does not double upon a crit? If Adlo functions one way that has double the effect, why do you think that Succor doesn't? Simply put, it would be overpowered. I mean, Succor is already an amazing tool for what it is. Imagine, also, when you're healing one person, I guess it's a little bit different. You're kind of planning for, no, you know what, I had a somewhat good reason. Like, it's more random. Like, one person might get more mitigated than the rest, and it's not a reliable means of, but you know what, that's the same anyway, because if they get crit, you know what, I don't have a good answer. It's just, it would be OP, okay? That's the bottom line. It would just be ridiculously OP, and a little bit kind of strange to see, like, one person that got hit by it get a 1400 shield, and another person get a 700 shield. Like, it would be kind of strange, all in one cast, you had that many varying degrees of success. Question number 5. I was overly disappointed with how they handled the unmasking of Yugiri. It felt rushed and insignificant considering how long they've been hiding her face. Question is, do you think that it felt this way because of how they played the scene out and that no Ishgardian says anything about her? Or because they had already revealed the Aura outside of the game beforehand? Also, what were your feelings on the scene? I was just like, oh, her mask is off. Because I guess to me, that scene was never going to have an impact on me no matter what. Unless they were like in the heat of battle and her mask fell off and then she just started beating on people without her mask. But I think a big reason why it doesn't feel special is because we know what the Elrod looked like. We wanted to know what she looked like specifically, and because it gives us kind of an idea of more of the customization options that we'll have. But it wasn't too big of a surprise. I think part of it was definitely the way they played out the scene, but a big reason was we already knew what the Elrod looked like. Next question. Hey, Mr. Happy, great work with the videos. Keep it up. I'm a hardcore casual, play a lot but not too seriously, that mostly likes the story. I've grown attached to some of the characters and really don't want to continue without them around. I don't particularly like asking a question about spoilers. Okay, so it's a spoiler question. So here's what we're going to do. When I do this, it means the spoilers are over right now, or spoilers. Like, if you don't want to hear spoilers for 2.55, just mute. When I do this, means you're good to unmute, alright? So, but I'm looking for opinions, so I should decide what I should do. Question. In your opinion, if you had to pick individuals, who do you think survived the events of 2.55? Minfilia, dead giveaway. I think Y'shtola might survive. I think in some way, shape, or form, we're going to see them all again. I don't necessarily know that it's a matter of them surviving or not. I feel like they're dead, but this isn't the last time we're going to see them. I felt the same way about Moonbrita in 2.4. That she's dead, but it's not the last time we're going to see her. You know what I mean. So I think Minfilia is the only one I can confidently say didn't die, and that's only because they don't explicitly show her scene where she dies, you know? So that's it. That's really just my answer. One individual Minfilia, and everyone's like, but she's so useless. Maybe she'll be useful in the future. Who knows? Question number 7. Hey, Haps, you probably don't even play Destiny anymore, but I'll ask anyway. As you may or may not know, Bungie announced the release date of LOL Expansion 2, House of Wolves, recently. Did you say recently? Okay, never mind. Furthermore, they stated that it will not include a raid. They said that they've been humbled by people's reception to their raids. What do you think this means, and what do you make of this whole situation? Personally, my curiosity is piqued, as maybe this means Bungie will go back to the drawing board and seriously think about what they want to do with raids. So, to be clear, House of Wolves won't have a raid, but there is another raid coming later on. They haven't detailed if you'll need to pay for the next raid or anything yet. But the thing that's going to replace the raid for House of Wolves is, I can't remember, something of the Elders, like Pillars of the Elders, or something along those lines. And it's almost like a horde mode kind of arena, if I'm understanding the way people tell me. I don't know, with how shallow the story has been without a raid, I don't know, other games charge $15 for things like zombies and new modes like that, so I guess I can't really be too surprised by the price. It's just a matter of they keep saying these things are going to be like super non-repetitive, unique, and rewarding, and they've yet to once make a piece of content that feels unique and rewarding and not monotonous. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do anything long enough, it'll be monotonous. I think it's an interesting choice, but I do agree with you. I do hope this means they will go back to the drawing board with how they want to approach their raids. They really need it, and I don't want Destiny to fail. I'm just at this point chalking it up to, yeah, I'll probably have to wait till Destiny 2. Next question, repost from week 35. While they have stated they are hesitant to add HP trading abilities on the Dark Knight, do you feel they could implement abilities that feed off of damage received? It would still thematically feel like a Dark Knight style ability and avoid that stigma about a tank job trading HP for effects. So you mean like you put up an ability and all the and that like a percentage of the damage you take while that ability is active, when the ability falls off, creates a shield that protects yourself. So it's like almost like you would use it to absorb auto attacks before a big hit comes, and then you'd either cancel it or it would wear off naturally and create a shield for yourself. That would be pretty cool. I would actually totally appreciate an effort to do something along those lines. It's different from your standard tank cooldown where you just gotta make sure it's there in time for the big hit, or, you know, you're getting crit a lot so you pop awareness, or it's a lot of, you know, like I need to know how much damage am I gonna receive during this time from auto attacks, you know, how much is the shield most likely going to be so we can manage our mitigations with our healers a little bit more efficiently. I think that could work really, really well, my friend. It was a good suggestion. Question number 9, MP. I'm assuming that's my initials. That's why they're there. There's been a lot of public and in-game backlash about the Steps of Faith trial concerning rage quitting and people leaving the party the instant they see they've ended up in SOF while queuing for the trial roulette. While the mechanics are a departure from the formula and it's often, always, difficult to see for melee, DD, and tanks, it seems that the lack of a way to restart once you know you can't win is the biggest issue. Do you think Square Enix is aware of this and will give some more creative instances in the future without the painful wait, or is it more likely that they will see it as a generally unliked attempt at change and go back to what has worked in the past? Love the show, keep it up. Thank you, my friend. I think they'll still be doing fun little fights like this. It's just a question of whether they'll transfer over to something that's more difficult than a party finder trial or a duty finder trial. I don't think the problem with the instance is anything. Realistically, what this fight, everything this fight does right is the same thing that it does wrong. Like it's a double-edged sword. It's great actually that the fight doesn't stop you at all. That you can't actually fail it. You can watch and absorb the entire fight, even if you can't get past the first phase, which is something that a lot of people have wanted. The problem with that being is that if you know how to do the fight and you failed it anyway, now you're gonna have to wait like 8 minutes for him to walk down that path, while dragons most likely still come after you, which is gonna be kind of annoying. Also, I think they could have done a better job at explaining the way you're supposed to use the dragon killers, the giant harpoons on the side. They definitely could have done a better job at that. But overall, I think that it's a good fight. It's a fun departure, and I think that the bigger problem is the same problem with the duty finder in general. People are impatient. People aren't willing to accept that one person may not know how to do it. They may need to see it a couple of times. You know, they want it to be one and done. I'd say that's the bigger issue. And because this fight has that long wait, if you know you're not going to win, it just makes it even more insufferable for those people. Question number 10. Greetings, Mr. Happy. Love your Q&A videos. Thank you, my friend. I've been thinking a lot of adding Fracture as a cross-class ability for Monk and Dragoon to increase my damage, but I think that Fracture costs too much TP for an 18-second dot, so I removed it because I really ran out of TP countless times, even if I used Invigorate. So the question is, do I need to adjust my rotation with Fracture to increase my damage, or is Fracture not mandatory? So, Fracture has been a highly debated topic for a long time. What's generally come to exist is that Fracture is not worth it, specifically in long fights. It's got great potency per global cooldown usage, but it's got terrible potency per TP usage. Also, some people don't have the skill speed to really support it in their rotation, so what'll happen is they'll lose ticks of other dots, they'll misalign their buffs falling off and then reapplying them. So a lot of people will just generally tell you Fracture's not worth it. In short fights where running out of TP is not an issue, it is still probably a DPS increase, but if you're looking at like, you know, 8 to 11 minute fights like the final coil of Bahamut, or all the way up to 14-minute fights with very few breaks in between, you'd probably just want to put it to the side and say, you know what, let me just play the job that I have and worry about my other cross-class abilities instead. Next question, really simple one. Hey Happy, got a quick one for you. Can you recommend a good lore YouTuber? Yeah, and you mean like somebody who like really digs into the lore and doesn't just give you an overview? Because that's pretty much what I do. I'll give you a little bit of history. FFXIV, I almost called him Atch. FS Asher, really cool guy, appreciated by the community. He comes by my Twitch stream every now and again. I see him commenting on my YouTube videos. Great guy, great lore YouTuber for Final Fantasy XIV. I highly recommend him. Shout out. Next questions. Hey, Mr. Happy, thanks for the vids. I have 2 quick questions. They're on the same topic, so here goes. Which crafting class do you think will make the new job weapons? And will we have to go through the same process to get their relic weapon, or will they have to do something different? Relic weapon, well, more specifically Zodiac questline will be more of the same, you know, time for power, which was Yoshi P's exact words. The initial relic, I'm not sure if that'll be the same case, whatever it ends up being called, the Ishgardian Braves weapon, whatever they end up calling it. As for which crafting class, I'd imagine the majority of them will have a weapon, so I don't think there's any one specific one you need to level. I'd say you've got to worry more about like which ones you want to level because of the specialization tier, but that's something we're going to be talking about in this week's State of the Realm. So definitely be sure to tune into that. You can probably get Mithri's input on that a little bit better since I'm not a huge crafter, you know. I just think they'll all the crafting classes will be good for that, except maybe Culinarian. I forgot to do the thumbs up again. Damn it. Well, this is another question that is kind of spoilers, so I'll do the thumbs up after this question. Hey Hap, since Lady Iceheart was a factor in the 2.55 storyline and is therefore still alive and kicking, do you expect a level 60 Shiva encounter? Maybe she could be a dungeon boss somewhere between 51 and 60. You know, that's actually what I expected. I don't think she'll be like another Primal encounter, but I do think that we will see her again as a boss. Like, she's gonna occupy a certain area with her and her followers, and then they'll be trying to do some crazy stuff for the dragons, and then she's gonna turn into Shiva and we'll have a super easy version of the fight. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous. Maybe we'll even just have a fight against Iceheart. That's entirely a possibility, just her, which would kind of make a little bit more sense than just reusing Shiva. So now I'm gonna give the thumbs up for the spoiler thing. Next question. Hey, Mr. Happy, thanks for all the great vids. Love all that you do, and thanks for answering my question. Thank you for coming and answering your question, my friend, and thank you for supporting the channel. I've got a fast question for you. Any word on when Heavensward is going to be available on Steam? No. Well, actually, they said that PlayStation Network is taking a while longer, and we can expect that in May. I'd imagine Steam would be about the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and guess, not say for sure, May. Next question. Hello, Mr. Happy, or hi, Mr. Happy. Your fingers... I want to move on. Do you think the second Alexander Savage in 3.2 would require you to complete first Alexander Savage to enter? Or do you think it would be required for you to just finish normal mode? Yeah, just finish normal mode. I can't imagine they'll lock out Savage from the previous Savage, because then you're creating basically probably 3 gates for them to get into, because you'll have to beat the first one on normal, you have to beat the first one on Savage, and you have to beat the second one on normal. So, yeah, I'd imagine you just have to beat the second one on normal, and that'll get you access to Alexander Savage. Alrighty then, next question. Hey Happy, I hope this question doesn't miss week 36. That's a Miztech pun. Yeah, I know who you are. I mean, I know who you are because I can see your name, but I know specifically who this is, even if I didn't have to read the name. With Heavensward on the approach, do you think we will ever see a change on how Square Enix designs loot, specifically for different jobs sharing the same armor pieces, despite some jobs having different stat priorities such as White Mage and Scholar or Black Mage and Summoner? Having to farm 13 different job armors in the next version of raids would be a bad idea, but getting 3 different versions of WoD is already bad enough. In your opinion, how do you think Square Enix can fix this? Really? Fix? Tokens. The token system. Make a set of armor that drops in there, make a set of armor that's gotten specifically from tokens, plus, you know, tombstone armor. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, with the fact that esoterics are not going to be available until Alexander Savage goes live, it probably means that esoterics gear is actually as good as Alexander Savage gear. I'm not saying that for certain. There's no way I can guarantee that. It's just kind of the way that I interpreted it. It might even fall in between Alexander Normal and Savage. But I imagine just customizable stats, a reforging system would be great. A way to change a set of stats by using probably some really expensive tools or whatever. I don't know how they would do it. But yeah, there's lots of ways for them to fix it. A token system, reforging system, and just more loot options in general. Next question. Hey, Mr. Happy. First, I would like to say thanks for all the awesome videos you have posted. They are great. Thank you, my friend. My first question is this. I have a friend who is trying to get back on the game with her PlayStation 4. She's already done the account upgrade, but can't link the account because she doesn't want to buy a new copy for except when Heavensward is available. Will she be able to play the old story content from Heavensward disc, or does she have to buy a new copy of A Realm Reborn? So first of all, you can't access Heavensward without A Realm Reborn. Like, it's actually impossible. It's a required thing that you own A Realm Reborn before you can even upgrade to the expansion. It's interesting. It sounds like she missed the free upgrade. Like, it sounds like she was on the PlayStation 3 and wanted to upgrade to the PlayStation 4, but missed the window for it, which means she will have to buy the game ultimately. There is an all-in-one pack that she can get in June, which has both Heavensward and A Realm Reborn for, I think it's $60 or something. Yeah, $60, which is not a bad price. A Realm Reborn 20, Heavensward 60. But she is going to need A Realm Reborn pretty much no matter what. So, yeah, she should probably just get A Realm Reborn now, and then get Heavensward later. Next question. Hey, Happy. Thanks for all the hard work you do. Love the vids and love the stream. Thank you, my friend. My question for Mondays with Mr. Happy week 36, I think? Do you believe that you'll have to clear all old Primal content to enjoy the new hard mode Primal fights once Heavensward comes out? I'm currently stuck on Shiva Extreme. Oh, no. I know where this is coming. No. You will not need any of that stuff, dude. Don't even worry about it. Just complete your 2.55 story. Don't worry about anything else, man. Don't even worry about that. Alright, we got a few questions left here, and then I'm going to edit this together. It's going to be out a little bit late on Monday, but should be fine for you guys. I know you guys will like it. Anyway, next question. Hey, Happy, since you mentioned you might be playing Scholar of the First Sin, that's Dark Souls 2, sometime soon in the Week 35 video, I was wondering, would you be playing on console or PC? I've been considering getting it for the PlayStation 4 because I kind of want a reason to keep using my PlayStation 4, you know, once I'm done with Bloodborne for good. I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm leaning towards the PlayStation 4 version. If I was on PC, Jolly Cooperation, maybe possible, but I'm probably going to go with the PlayStation 4 version. Alright, and we have one final question for Mondays with Mr. Happy. Question for Mr. Happy Mondays, aka Mondays with Mr. Happy, number 37? Is it 37? 36? Is that why he asked what it was? Ah, crap. It's the next episode. It's this episode. That's what you're asking for. Do you think they will keep 24-man and 8-man raids on opposite patches moving into Heavensward, or do you think it will be corrected moving forward now that they have caught up? Remember that the Crystal Tower and Coil were supposed to be launched at the same time, but they had to retool it, and that is leading to the missing level of gear. So what ultimately ended up happening is Crystal Tower was too difficult for where they wanted to put it. It was probably on par with Coil's difficulty with 10 item levels less. So, no, I think they're going to stick to that release schedule. I think the big idea now is in the even patches, you'll have a normal raid launch. 2 weeks later, you'll have the Savage mode launch for Alexander. And then the item level difference between normal and Savage is going to be big enough apart to the point where you can fill in gaps to create an easier gearing experience for people later on. So Savage is completely doable in Alexander Normal's item level, and it's what it's initially designed to be done in, but it'll act as that step forward as opposed to it just being Tombstone gear that puts you that step forward. Whether that's Free Company airships that push you that step forward with the loot that you can get on the islands themselves, whether that be the new 24-man raid. I think they're going to keep it the same way, and it's going to be specifically used now to get you from the last raid tier to the next tier. It kind of does that already now, but within the raid tier itself, it gives you a boost. It's not just trying to get you from first coil to second coil, it's trying to get you from first Alexander normal to first Alexander savage, if that makes sense. At least that's the way I'm interpreting it. But who knows? Thank you everyone for your questions. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I did with the LCS stuff. It was great. We had a good time. So anyway, be sure to ask your questions in the designated thread for next week's episode. Apologies if I missed any of your questions, you know. Always miss a few here and there. Can't be perfect. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. I will see you guys next week. And until then, take care.